Good morning, students. Hope you all must be doing fine and staying inside during this lockdown period. Dear students, let's try to make the best use of this lockdown period by beginning with the first chapter of our science, which says food for plants. You all must be wondering that we all get our food from plants, right? But have you ever thought that why do plants also need food? The answer is very simple. As we all know that food provides energy to us. Food provides energy to us to do various work like we grow, we move from one place to another. Even while sleeping, we use this energy. In a similar manner, a plant needs to grow. A plant also needs to reproduce. A plant also needs to repair the worn out cells. And you must have seen around your around yourselves that a small plant which is growing in a pot sheds its leaves, and then the new leaves they come out of it. For all such processes, a plant also needs energy, and this energy is being supplied to them by the food which they prepare. The only difference is that plants not only prepare the food for themselves, but they also produce food for all the living beings that are present in the surroundings. Therefore, we call the green plants as producers. Right. Now, a simple question arises that how do plants produce their food? When you look around yourself, you might see a lot of green plants through your window or from your balcony. Have you ever thought that why these plants look green in color only? Children, it is because of the presence of a green color pigment which is known as chlorophyll. What happens when you get your finger cut accidentally or when you get hurt? The blood starts coming out of your finger or from that particular body part, and that blood is always red in color. Have you ever tried to ask this question from your parents that why this blood is always red in color? This blood is red in color because of the presence of a pigment known as hemoglobin. Right? In a similar manner, our green plants also contain a pigment known as chlorophyll. This chlorophyll gives them a green appearance. Now, why do the plants they need this chlorophyll? Yeah, what is the importance of chlorophyll in the green plants? Basically, in the chapter ahead, we will study about the different raw materials that are required for the photosynthesis. And we will learn that one of the most important raw material is sunlight. Now, the green plants, they are able to trap this sunlight through this chlorophyll. The chlorophyll which is present in the leaves helps the green plant to trap the sunlight. And this sunlight plays an important role in the process of photosynthesis. Before we go further in this session, let's quickly have a look of the parts of a leaf. As you all can see in this diagram that a leaf has few basic structures which are as follows. The first very important part of the leaf is the leaf blade. Then there are certain white color small pipe-like structures. We call them as veins. Moving ahead, you can see a stalk, and then there are certain small pores which are not visible to us by our naked eyes, and these pores are known as stomata. Let's go in detail one by one to discuss about these parts of the leaf. Leaf blade is the main part of the leaf which is flat, which is usually flat, and it is green in color. As we have already discussed, students, that it is green in color because of the presence of chlorophyll. Now, this leaf blade is attached to the main stem. We should not pluck leaves, but just imagine that you are holding one leaf which is attached in a potted plant and you are trying to pluck that leaf. Now, that part by which the leaf is attached to the main stalk or the stem is known as your petiole or stalk. The leaf has few more parts as we have discussed. Moving ahead are the veins. These veins, they act like small pipes which are running here and there. Or these veins are just like the veins that we can see in our hands, those blue colored veins. As you know that these veins, they carry blood from one part of a body to another. In a similar manner, these veins that you can see throughout the leaves, they help in the transportation of the water and dissolved minerals. One of the thickest vein which runs through the center of the leaf is known as main vein or the midrib. And various other small sided veins are known as side veins. These are seen to be emerging from the main vein. Moving forward is stomata. Now, stomata are small pores that are usually present on the lower surface of the leaf, but you cannot see them with your naked eyes. These stomata, they are actually equivalent to the nostrils, to our nose, as the nose helps in the exchange of various gases. In a similar manner, the stomata also helps to exchange various gases. These openings or the stomata helps in taking in the carbon dioxide and in the release of oxygen. Right? Now, one very small activity is given in your book which says that if you will apply a thick layer of Vaseline on the lower side, that is the undersurface of a leaf which is growing on the plant, and you will just leave it for a few days, observe that leaf, that particular leaf, or on the undersurface of which you have applied the Vaseline, observe that leaf for say about after a week, you will notice that this leaf will become limp, or you might say that it will wilt, right? It will wilt as there will be no exchange of gases. So this shows that the stomata, they are present on the lower surface of the leaf, and this stomata helps in the exchange of gases. Alright, now we have already discussed and used one term that's known as photosynthesis. Children, photo is the word that is being derived from light, and synthesis means to prepare, to make. Now, if you will divide this term photosynthesis it will come out to be that something which is prepared in the presence of light. So we say that photosynthesis is the process by which the green leaves, they are able to prepare their own food with the help of certain raw materials. If we would try to write down these raw materials, then the first and the foremost thing which is required is the presence of sunlight, which gets trapped by the green colored pigment called chlorophyll. Next, and the second most important raw material, is the water. The roots of the plant, they absorb this water through the soil. The third and another important raw material is the carbon dioxide. Now, this carbon dioxide is exhaled or given by human beings and animals, which is present in the atmosphere. Plants have the ability to trap this carbon dioxide, and in turn they give us fresh air or oxygen. That's why we always say that plant more and more trees. Right? Now the exchange of these gases, that is taking in of carbon dioxide and release of oxygen, takes place through the small pores which are known as stomata. Now children, when the chlorophyll traps the sunlight, the water and the carbon dioxide in the presence of this sunlight gets converted into food, as well as oxygen is released along in this process. The food is utilized by us, we eat that food, and oxygen is the gas which we breathe in. This entire process is very well represented in this diagram, which says that the process of photosynthesis is taking place over here. Now, the food which is prepared by the plants is usually in the form of a very simple sugar which is known as glucose. This glucose is stored by the plants for a while for doing various work, and the extra food which is prepared when the plant needs to store the food for a longer time, they store it in the form of starch. This starch could be stored in the leaves of the plants and some various other parts like fruits, stems and roots, which we'll be studying later on in this chapter. Now, you all can see a very simple activity here. The activity says that you need to take a balsam plant which has a very soft stem, just uproot that plant, make its root clean so that no soil is as such attached to it, and put this plant in a glass jar that's containing water. To this glass jar, add few drops of red ink and leave the setup as such overnight without touching it. On the next day, you will observe that the red color is seen in the leaves and the stem of that balsam plant. When you will try to cut that stem, you might also see some small red dots with the help of a magnifying glass, as they won't be visible with the naked eyes. So this shows that the red color along with the water was absorbed by the roots, and it was carried to the leaves through the stem. The stem has a special kind of a tissue which is known as xylem that helps in the transportation of this water from the roots to the different parts of the leaves. Now children, as we have already discussed, that there are certain raw materials which are required by the green plants for the photosynthesis. So your book gives few basic activities to test whether that particular raw material is required by the plant or not. The first activity is to test whether sunlight is essential for photosynthesis or not. Children, let me make one thing very clear here before we begin with these activities. You always need to de-starch your leaf, decolorize your leaf. Decolorization means removing the green pigment or the chlorophyll from your leaf so that you can very well see the results of your activity. And this is usually done by boiling the leaf, or you can say by heating the leaf in a test tube that contains alcohol. But as you know that alcohol is highly inflammable, we never burn the alcohol directly. So this is done step by step. First of all, you take a spirit lamp and then you take a tripod stand. On that tripod stand, after keeping a mesh, you keep a beaker which is filled with water. When the water starts boiling in that beaker, we immerse our test tube containing alcohol and leaf. Once the leaf starts leaving its green color, we again take out the leaf from that test tube and rinse it thoroughly through the plain water so that there are no drops of alcohol attached to its surface. Okay, now beginning with the first activity, it says that whether sunlight is essential for photosynthesis or not. You just need to take one potted plant having soft leaves which is already growing in the sun. Now, just cover one portion of any leaf with a black paper using a paper clip, or you can just tape it around. After 2 days, just take out that covering very carefully and pluck that entire leaf. Now, first step is to bleach the leaf, that is to remove its green color. Initially by boiling it in water and then in the alcohol as we have already discussed, and then again we'll rinse it thoroughly through the water. Now, we will test for the presence of iodine. We will test for the presence of starch in it by putting few drops of iodine solution. When you will keep that leaf of yours in a petri dish, add 2 to 3 drops of iodine on it. Iodine is the chemical which is used to test the presence of starch. Right? If your leaf contains starch, means if your leaf has done the process of photosynthesis, if all the raw materials were available to your leaf, photosynthesis has taken place, your leaf might have prepared the food. And the food is prepared in the form of glucose or more complex sugars, that's starch. When we'll put 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution on that leaf which has done photosynthesis, it will turn blue-black. Now, to your surprise, the portion which you have colored with the black paper will not turn blue-black. This indicates that no starch has been prepared in that region. No starch means no photosynthesis has taken place. Why? Because we have not provided sunlight to that part of the leaf. Right, students? So no sunlight means no photosynthesis. No photosynthesis means no starch. No starch means no blue-black color with iodine. Alright, in a similar manner, you can also go for the test to check whether chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis or not. Now, again you need to take a coleus leaf. You might have seen around yourself that there are certain leaves which are variegated. Variegated means along with green color they might have certain white places, white spots or yellow spots or at times red spots in them. They are known as variegated leaves. Now pluck one leaf, bleach it in the similar manner we have discussed above, and then rinse it thoroughly with the water. Now again test it for the presence of starch. You will observe that the plants of the leaves that have green color will turn blue-black, and the plants which were red or white or yellow in color will not turn blue-black. This shows that starch was present only in the green parts of the leaf, which means that photosynthesis has taken place only in the green part where the chlorophyll was present. This shows that chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Now, students, I hope that you will try to revise this topic till here, and I'll be giving you few questions as well related to these topics. Please try to do them, and if you need to take help of your parents, then do take their help. Stay inside your houses and be safe. Take care.